Good morning and happy new year. Welcome to the first 2025 edition of the Betting Connection podcast. My name's Chris. I'm here with my co-host as always, Rob. Rob, it's a new year. It's our 20th episode as well. How are you doing, my friend? Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks. Happy New Year to you too, and the best wishes and best of luck for this upcoming year. Who would have thought 20 episodes already? So yeah, good. Love to get into it, and looking forward to the weekend. How are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, crazy 20 episodes when we started this at the start of near the start of the season. And here we are. We haven't missed a week except for last week. Last week was the first time we missed a week because I was struck down with quite a bad fever, actually. I had fever for 5 days, so it wasn't great. And I was ready last week to talk a little bit about the previous week, which was a winning podcast again. Rob, the previous episode that we did was a winning podcast. I wanted to talk about it last week. I just could not get out of my sick bed. But I wanted to tell our listeners that we did get it in and we got a healthy 3.5 unit win on our last pod.
Woo! Back to winning ways. Love to hear that.
Back to winning ways, yeah. So that was a second in a row again after the loss that we had, and it was a bit healthier as well. So yeah, nice. And look, we didn't have a lot anyway last weekend, did we? There was still a lot of winter breaks going on, so we didn't really have a lot of picks for last weekend. We put a few on the socials. We did okay, about even, I think it was, over the course of the weekend. The last podcast that we did, your Big Gun Acca was back to winning ways as well. And I know that you put the Big Gun Acca on the socials last weekend that technically lost. Again, anyone that has the 2-goal up thing with their bookies would have got a winner on that, Rob, because I did do that. And Rangers were the one that let us down on the socials last weekend, but they were 2 up twice, I think, in that game.
Yeah, they were, and unfortunately, I didn't have the early payout on the Scottish league. So I did had some early payouts on different kind of leagues, like the Dutch league and Italian league and Spanish and English, but it doesn't include Turkey and Scotland. So it was a little bit disappointing. I did put out a cover bet as usual. So I didn't lose any money on it, but yeah, always look for those early payouts. It's always winning formula.
Yeah, I do like it. I'll be honest, because I on my bookies I have the choice. So literally, I can choose to pick the normal odds, or I can choose to pick the 2 up odds. And sometimes there's minimal difference, and sometimes there is a little bit like, oh, you're taking my odds down, man. And sometimes I pick and choose. Sometimes I just go for the 2 up. More recently, I've been doing the 2 up because every now and then something like this happens. And I just think it's better to be winning something than nothing, right? Even if you have to lose a little bit of the odds.
Exactly. Better safe than sorry, I would say. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a frustrating one. I mean, I think the bookies are onto something with this. It's a good carrot for people, for bettors to take it. It is lovely when you've got a bet on and it's done. If they go 2 up, it's done. It's nice. It is a nice feeling. But I think the bookies are onto something because they've kind of slashed the odds for it. I don't reckon that many. They have to. I think most games that go 2 up do tend to win the game. So it'd be interesting to think of the statistics on that. But overall, as a bettor, it's nice to have because if you've got it in accumulators, you can chalk off particular games, and then the cover bet can come in earlier if it works out for you that way as well. So I like it overall. I like it.
I like it as well.
So okay, well look, Rob, we normally do go back part on the previous week and talk about the winners and losers, but as this was 2 weeks ago, I think that's a little bit redundant. So let's just crack straight into a little bit of talk on English football. It's FA Cup weekend this weekend, so I don't know about you, but I don't really bet on cup games, especially in the early rounds. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I definitely feel the same way. It's always a little bit harder to really feel the motivation of a certain team. Uh, when I look at the Dutch Cup that I've been watching all my life, you see teams that already know they don't have a chance, and then they just put on 11 different kind of different players. And there always are crazy results. Definitely when the home crowd is involved, sometimes that really strange results come and go. So I stay away most of the time from cup games. I do like to bet on the Champions League, sometimes UEFA Cup and Conference League, but then again, I don't like the domestic cups.
Yeah, the domestic cups are a complete minefield because you just don't know how serious the teams are taking it, and it's easy to think of the top teams are okay if they're playing, they're going to play weekend or play some of the squad players or the youth players, but even teams kind of in the middle of the league or chasing promotion in the championship or fighting relegation in the Premier League. Like these teams, what's more important, staying in the Premier League or getting into the Premier League? Or teams like Bournemouth, Brentford, who are realistically trying to chase Europe now. You've got Nottingham Forest. Are they even in a title race? Like, what teams are these guys going to be putting out? It's very difficult to know.
Exactly. By the way, which cup name do you fancy most? Which one do you like most? Do you have one on the top of your head?
Wow.
I have Papa John's. Papa
Papa
John's
John's
coffee.
are the Papa John's.
I don't know who's Papa, but Papa is dad in Dutch. So it's like Daddy John. Daddy
Daddy
John
John.
coffee.
Yeah, Daddy John. It's interesting, like, because there's some cup competitions that obviously they change their sponsor, so
Yeah,
therefore
yeah.
the name changes.
I
But
like
like,
it.
for example, the Carabao Cup, that for me has always been the Coca-Cola Cup.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's
Ah.
yeah, back in the 90s, it's the League Cup, it's the third domestic competition in England. And in the 90s, it was always Coca-Cola Cup. So I still call it Coca-Cola Cup, even though it's the Carabao Cup. But
Ah, I never knew. I never knew. Like in
yeah.
Holland, we have the Dutch second league that's always changing their names, and now they have a really cool name. It's the Kitchen Champion Division.
Yeah, I remember you saying this before. Like, I can't pronounce it in Dutch, but then when you said that, what the translation was, is really quite funny.
Yeah, I know. It's very funny. Okay, enough about
But
that. Enough about the
but
name.
anyway, let's talk a little bit about England. Like I said, we haven't got any value picks in England because of the FA Cup. We're going to have one of the games in our quickfire round later, and I do have a couple of FA Cups to put in the student ACCA just as a let's see what happens. So just quickly, obviously in the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of Premier League football. What are your thoughts? How's it going? Nottingham Forest are still flying. Chelsea have dropped off. Man U look like they were absolute dead and buried. They come back. What's your feelings?
My feeling on Liverpool and Manchester United, because I watched that game on Sunday, was that the field was also in very bad conditions. So it was quite hard to get like the normal rhythm and the normal flow that Liverpool had. So I don't take that into much account. And again, it's like a big derby for both of the teams. Great result for Manchester United. They really put out there. And now you have these talks about the three big players leaving Liverpool. I'm not sure about it. I think you know a little bit more about it than me. But for me, it looks like Liverpool is still the team to become champion at the moment. Nottingham Forest is impressing me a lot. It's unbelievable run that they're having, and yeah, they're actually gonna play.
Can they do a Leicester? Can they do a Leicester?
Yeah, I think Leicester was already up, right? Weren't they? They were already in first position. Now they are already 5 points behind or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. I just mean in the fact that somebody absolutely random Can they do it? I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I've been saying this quite a lot. I still think Liverpool's second half of the season is a lot harder than their first half based on who they've played or not played away from home. I think Liverpool are going to drop a lot of points. The problem with the contract situation with Liverpool is that it's all fine when they're winning. When they're not winning, when things start to go against them, this sort of thing starts playing out a little bit uglier. Blame game starts happening already. Trent had one bad game and already he started to get things thrown at him because of the situation with Real Madrid. Same will happen with Salah. If Salah's form changes or he picks up little niggle injuries or whatever, you'll see the same accusations being made if they're not already being made. So it is a dangerous game to play for Liverpool, and this has been brewing all season. But because it wasn't in that final 6 months where they can technically speak to other teams, and Liverpool were just winning, it hasn't been a problem, but this was always a potential. So look, it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. They obviously lost again. They didn't lose at the weekend, but they lost in the Carabao Cup or Coca-Cola Cup last night to Tottenham. So I don't know. It's interesting, but Nottingham Forest just keep going about their business. Arsenal are not looking convincing at the moment. They're still there. They still have a chance, but yeah, it's interesting.
Manchester City back to winning ways. So it could all be up for grabs.
They got too many points. I was looking at this thinking, if Man City win every single game, which they've pretty much done before, would they still have a chance? I just don't think you'll see both Arsenal and Liverpool dropping that many points to allow that to happen. You can understand one team having a complete meltdown, but to have both, it's too many points, I think.
Okay.
For Man City, I think they'll still be there. I think they'll go on a bit of a run. Man City, they'll make a couple of signings. They're looking to buy the boy from Eintracht Frankfurt that's been smashing it this year, aren't they? So, I'm sure they'll get a couple of additions now, and there'll be a better.
I think there were rumors about Frankie De Jong as well from Barcelona.
Really? Wow.
That's one because he's not always getting the playing time that he deserves, and they're playing some Barcelona games, mind tricks on him and trying to get him out of his big contract, but he always loved to stay there. Frankie De Jong, he says he's very happy in Barcelona and he wants to stay there all his life. But we'll see how that plays out. There would be some crazy transfer as well.
Yeah, it would be. The only because Arsenal have been linked in the past as well. It's just the whole injury situation with him. But he is a fantastic player, which leads us on nicely, talking about Frankie De Jong, into the Netherlands. Not played games like in the Premier League with winter breaks and whatnot. But how is it over there? Is it all back now? It's all coming back this weekend, no?
Yes, starting back this weekend with both divisions are starting this weekend. Friday, a lot of matches in the second division, but I'm staying away from them this time. So no picks in the Dutch Keukenkampioen division this time. I don't even have really picks on the Dutch teams, although I like a Sunday double if you fancy it. My Sunday double would be, let me check. I have it here. FC Twente at home, playing against Willem II, and Feyenoord playing at home against FC Utrecht. A big transfer for FC Utrecht is incoming. It seems like Haller. Do you know him from Dortmund and Leganes?
No.
Okay. I think he's like from Ivory Coast or something.
Oh, yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
He scored in the final and he won them the Africa Cup. And he was he was very young, and then FC Utrecht signed him and he grew really big there. Then he made his big transfer to Ajax, to Dortmund, and but now he's coming back. So it's a real big signing for them. But I still think Feyenoord at home and FC Twente at home you can find them at about even odds, and I really like them as strong home teams. That's my only pick in Holland. Do you have anything in Holland that you fancy?
I do have a pick in Holland. I'm just going back onto that one. So they're both on Did you say they're both on Sunday? Those ones,
they're both on Sunday, and I will give you the correct quote in a little bit. You can talk about your pick.
Okay, yeah, okay, we'll do that now. Okay, so yeah, I do have a value pick for Holland this weekend, and it is, and we've spoken about this team a couple of times on these pods. It's NAC, and I don't know again if you say NAC Breda, NAC Breda or NAC Breda.
Yeah, you say
Again,
NAC. Yeah, NAC. It's fine.
yeah, NAC Breda, and I've got them at home versus Heerenveen. Again, I'm sure my pronunciation is terrible, but Van Persie's team, basically. Now,
Yeah.
I like NAC Breda for this, and pretty decent odds, better than even money here, 2.20, I found it at. And we actually backed a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? We backed Heerenveen, Van Persie. We thought that there'd been a bit of a change in form, and they really let us down, didn't they? Away at Almere City, who are one of the worst teams in the league. And they got spanked, didn't they? I think it was 3-0 they got beaten at Almere City. So, you know, we thought that they'd maybe changed the chip a little bit. There was a sign that their kind of form had turned. But when you really look at it, it was a bit of a leap on the fact that their away form is so terrible, this team. Heerenveen are terrible. Like, away from home, they've lost 8 of their 9 games played. So, and that includes that 3-0 beaten by Almere City. So, and with NAC Breda, we've backed these a couple of times at home, and they've not let us down. They've won the times that we've backed them. They are a really good home team. They've actually got the 4th most points at home in the league. They've won 5 of their 8 matches. And when you look at it, they've only lost to PSV, FC Utrecht, and Asad Alkmaar. That's the only 3 games they've lost at home. And there's no draws. They've won everything else. Won everything else at home, including Ajax. They beat Ajax at home as well. Just like this team at home, 2.2 against one of the worst away teams in the league. Yeah, why not?
Why not? And you can also look at the goal market for in this one. I just saw over 2.5 for 1.8. So that's also a nice one in Holland. Mostly there's a lot of goals. And as we talked about Heerenveen before, Van Persie rather gets a win than a draw. So he's always searching for another goal. And it's a great shout. And NAC Breda at home is always a good team. We said that as well on this pod before, that they are very, very good fans. Good fans. They are really involved in the games. They really shout team forward, and it really helps them a lot. So yeah, a little update on the double. It's for 2.3. So you can find FC Twente,
2.3.
Feyenoord.
Yeah, I was gonna say should be a bit better than evens because I mean FC Utrecht are still flying high. What's your feeling here then with Feyenoord? Just yeah, you think Utrecht are going to slip back a little bit now? What's the feeling there?
Yeah, with FC Utrecht, you already saw when they're playing against a little bit of the bigger teams with more quality. They had a tough job. They drew against Ajax, but they really got slapped by PSV. So I think that's just a quality difference. And for Feyenoord, they had a little bit of an on and off beginning. Like they had some great results in the Champions League, but they didn't do so well in the domestic league. But yeah, I think it's a big game for them as well. Start off the second half of the season well in front of their home fans. And yeah, Feyenoord, great fans as well. So they really push them forward. And I think, yeah, it's just barely makes the cut for me for an even double. Like I wouldn't put Feyenoord in all my bets because, as you say, FC Utrecht is not. It's not some team that's hanging around in the lower end of the table, but they're one of the. I think they're like third or fourth at the moment. So they're doing a real good job. But then again, I think just Feyenoord is a different quality, and they should get the job done at home against them.
Okay, let's go then. Okay, any more for the Netherlands?
No, I think PSV is playing against AZ. That's a very interesting match. I think no, I just saw the odds of PSV is around 1.45. You can always put it in an Acca. I really like PSV. I think they just are a different kind of quality. As I said before on the pod as well, and then they would go straight back into winning against AZ, and also take a look at the goal markets there because there tend to be high scoring games between them. But no,
Yeah,
of
it's an interesting. I think that's uh, a good price by the bookies. 1.4 on that one. I know As had a pretty decent form prior to the break, but again, just looking at it, they haven't really played anyone decent away from home. They only played Feyenoord away from home, which they lost. Other than that, they've not played PSV, Ajax, Utrecht, FC20. They haven't played anyone away. Any of the decent home teams have not played. So, yeah,
yeah, and
you
AZ
know,
has a lot of young players at the moment again. So they are famous for their youth academy, and this is one of those cycles. They are a little bit of in the beginning of the cycle with a lot of huge talents, but they're still quite young and they need a lot of playing time. And I think this team can evolve into something special because they did it in Europe as well. Like they're playing the Euro youth setups, and AZ is known for, I think 3 years ago, they beat it Boca Juniors in the final in Argentina or something. They won the Champions League in Europe, and then they had to play against Boca Juniors in the Boca Stadium in front of
wow,
like so many fans, and they were just youth teams. So it was really special.
amazing.
So that's about that, Azad.
Okay, well, let's move on to España, a country that also had a bit of a winter break. However, this is a really interesting title race this season. We've spoke about it before. There was one game that they had to squeeze in because Real Madrid had a game against Valencia that was postponed due to the floods in Valencia earlier in the year. And they played that game. I don't know if you called it, but Real Madrid got lucky in that match. Did you see it? The late show.
Yeah, they changed it around with 10 men, right?
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah. We always have a soft spot for Valencia, so it was a hard watch.
yeah, it was not nice, and I think I would like to see Atletico go and win this league now as an underdog. So yeah, I thought that was drop points for Real Madrid, and everyone who listens to this show knows that they're on my naughty list. So I don't have too much love for Real Madrid this season. So yeah, I was hoping that they would drop points there. Almost did, but they turned it around, and fair play in the end. So they sit top of the table. Where can we find value this weekend in La Liga? I've got one. Have you got one?
Yes, I have got one. I have Real Betis that I
Real Betis.
fancy. It's a team that's playing in Europe. It's always a little bit searching for those European playoff places. They are not doing that well in the league at the moment. They're sitting in ninth position, but they're playing against Real Valladolid. Well, I don't know if my pronunciation was good on that one, but Real Valladolid is standing
Valladolid.
Valladolid. Okay, thanks for
Vaya.
that. Valladolid are last, and they have nothing to show for really. They even lost in the Copa del Rey, I think last Sunday against a team that is, I don't even know the name of it. I know the name of it, but I don't know in which league they are playing. Orense. I can look it up.
Yeah, I
They
don't know which league
normally
they're in either.
they're playing in Primera División RFAF. Do you know that one? I don't know.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, the lower divisions in Spanish football gets quite complicated with how because they have to break it down through regions as well. So
Okay.
yeah, it gets a bit complex.
Uh,
But
it
yeah,
wasn't impressive by Valladolid anyways. And if you look at Betis, actually, they're doing quite all right. If you look at the last six matches, they didn't lose any, and they won four of them. And you can find them at 1.86. So I actually like the value of Real Betis win away from home. They don't have Europe yet. They had a little rest. They don't have to play two matches a week. They just have to focus on this match, get 3 points, and go chase Europe.
yeah. Look. I think we've faded Valladolid more than any other team on this podcast this year. It hasn't failed us so far. So let's go again.
Let's go. What's your pick in
Let's
Spain?
go again. And Real, by the way, Real Betis won away at Villarreal last time out as well. So really decent result.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Last time they played away from home. Okay, that is nice value, almost even money. I've got one at better than even money. This one surprised me when I saw the odds. It's our friends again, Las Palmas. Our friends Las Palmas. We backed them. Yeah, speaking of Valladolid, we backed Las Palmas to beat Valladolid. They won. We backed Las Palmas to beat Espanyol. They won. And here we are again at home, Las Palmas, this time up against Getafe. Getafe are a bit of a better team than who I just mentioned there, Valladolid and Espanyol. But look, they're not that much better, and especially away from home. It's like there's some awful away teams in this league, and Getafe seem to be another one of them. They're fourth from bottom overall, so marginally better than the teams that we mentioned. They're also another team that have not won a single game away from home. They've lost 6 of their 8 played on the road. They're in bad form. They've lost 5 of their last 7 overall. Las Palmas won this fixture 2-0 last season. And look, anyone that's listening, we back Las Palmas against these type of teams for a reason. They weren't having the best home form in the league, but I mentioned on both previous cases that they had played quite hard teams. So once they start getting this type of team in front of them, they'll do the business. They've done the business. I think they'll do the business again at 2.45. I'm having it.
Okay, sounds like a great shout, and I am gonna back it as well.
Yeah, we've got to find it. You know, we spoke about this in the past. Obviously, we had Aberdeen at the start of the season. And like sometimes you just can find a team, a little they just keep getting good value on them. And look, there's no reason not to back this. Yes, generally speaking and historically speaking, Getafe can be a decent team, but they're not doing it this year. And let's just ride the form home horse in Las Palmas. It's certainly those odds.
You know, Las Palmas has 2 players that I like in a way. You have Fabio Silva. That's the Portuguese one that was supposed to be like the next big thing from Portugal. So always nice to have I have a special interest in him. And of course, you have a Dutch goalkeeper, Jasper Sillissen, who's doing an amazing job. I think Las Palmas, I was looking at this match as well, and I saw that Las Palmas, I think they had the result against Barcelona. And there's been a lot of talks about Jasper Sillissen's performances for Las Palmas at the moment, and that is really doing well in goal between the sticks. So yeah, I like this shout.
Excellent. Okay, so so a couple of nice picks there. What price did you have? Sorry, at the Real Betis. So I just make a note of it.
1.86.
1.86. Okay, great. So leaving España, we move on to Germany. And I think we've both got a pick each here as well.
Yes, in Germany, I found another pick. Maybe it's not value yet, but I just like the pick as a winner. I'm going to Mainz. They are playing against Bochum, and Mainz have an impressive end of the last year. They're standing 5th, and in the form table they're 2nd, and they had an amazing win against Bayern München. They are playing against Bochum, who are standing last of the Bundesliga with just 6 points and a goal difference of -22. They did had one of their first wins. They did have their first win in the last game of the year, but I just think Mainz at home is enough to get the job done, and you can find it at 1.57, so almost 1.6. So I like it, and you can add it with another value, maybe PSV at home, for a little bit more than even your money.
Okay, yeah, I like this one as well. I looked at this. I was actually going to put it on the student Acca. I then saw that you had it as a pick, so I thought maybe you'd put it in your Big Gun Acca, so I left it. But I definitely looked at this and liked it. So yeah,
Yeah,
just a
it's
little
a
bit
good
under.
one for the
under.
student Acca. It's not in my Big Gun Acca, but it's a good one for your student Acca.
Okay, I didn't put it in, but maybe when I give the odds of the student accolade, you can add that one in. I mean, Bochum are pretty poor, and yeah,
Exactly.
mine's are flying. In fact, mine's connect a little bit to my pick. My pick in Germany is Eintracht Frankfurt, another team that have not let me down. I do like picking the teams that serve you well and make you money, you know. And Eintracht Frankfurt are definitely one of those this season. They've been flying. I find this surprising odds as well. I think I understand why the bookies have priced this, but you've got even money here for Eintracht Frankfurt away at St. Pauli. Now, on the face of it, I mean, there's two ways of looking at this. On the face of it, you know, it's what are Eintracht Frankfurt now? Are they third still in the league? I think they're still flying high. They're flying high, and St. Pauli, you know, near the bottom. I think the reason that we've got attractive odds on this is that before the winter break, Frankfurt have lost their last two games, and St. Pauli won their last game against Stuttgart. So I think, you know, that's really the main reason why this is attractive as it is. But when you focus out a little bit and think, right, let's look at this a little bit with a wide angle lens and think, why are we getting this? Frankfurt are one of the hits of the season. Let's call it what it is. They've been absolutely flying. They did lose their last two games, but one of those, well, both of them were against teams in the top five. You're talking Red Bull Leipzig and Mainz, who we just spoke about. So they were the two losses that Frankfurt had against decent opposition. And look, they probably played a lot of games. They've had this 2-week winter break now. So I just think, look, they've had time to recharge and get back to what they were doing previously. St. Pauli, yeah, they won their last match before the break, but previously had lost 4 of the last 5. They are 5th from bottom. They've only won 1 home game all season, and that was against Holstein Kiel, who are sitting, I think, 2nd from bottom at the moment. And Eintracht Frankfurt have done the business away from home against teams they should be doing it against. They're unbeaten against teams in the bottom half away from home. They've won 4 of those 5 games against those weak oppositions. And you're against a team here, St. Pauli, who no one has scored less goals than them. They're the worst offense in the league. And, you know, Eintracht Frankfurt are solid enough in defence. And look, St. Pauli do have a good defence. They're not conceding that many goals. But Eintracht Frankfurt, yeah, they should have enough on both ends of the pitch to get this done. Even money, I really like the price.
Yeah, and then in a sports betting way mentality, they should win this 55% of the time, and I think they would. So yeah, it's a good pick with good odds.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is where you've got look, it doesn't always work out, you know, but at the end of the day, this is sometimes where really recent form has changed the price. You wouldn't have got this price, say, 2 weeks before the winter break. There's no way you're getting this price. It's literally just on that last kind of week, 10 days of the of December before the winter break of those results. And that's why you've got the price. So I think sometimes that's where you've got to jump in and just say, look, hopefully that's not where the form is going. And it's just a little stumble and that's it. And I always like it when teams have had a little stumble. They've had 2 weeks to recharge the batteries. Hopefully we'll see the real Frankfurt. Obviously, you know, there's a couple of their players that have been linked in the January transfer market because they have been doing so well this season. But look, that's not happening yet. I imagine that they'll be playing their full team out this weekend and, yeah, against the weaker opposition.
Okay, I like it.
Great. Right, let's move on. That's me done for my value picks. I've got 3 there, all even money or better. And you've got, I think, 1 more that you like, and this time it's in France. Is that right?
Yes, and I seem to have a similar theme going on here because I'm actually fading teams that are just very near the bottom of the table or standing last in the table who are not looking good. And in France, I'm looking at Le Havre, and Le Havre is second to last in the table. They lost their last 5 matches. It's just a horrible team at the moment. They're also minus 22 goal difference. And they're playing against Lens. And Lens is standing mid-table, and it's a team that it's looking for spots in Europe. They're seventh in the form table, but it's mainly a pick about fading Le Havre. And I've been following them for a couple of weeks now, and I've just seen them losing, and losing. So I'm picking Lens in this one for 1.7.
1.7. Yeah, look, they're not just losing Le Havre, Rob. They're getting spanked, right? Like they've got hammered. Their last two games were losses of 5-1 and 3-0. They've lost 4-1. They've lost their home matches read this: losing 4-1, 3-0, 4-0, 3-0, 3-0, 1-0, and then a couple of wins. But when they're losing heavily, man.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it in this part of the season. Like when it's getting later in the season, I'm always a little bit scared with those teams that are fighting against relegation because they get some strange results. But maybe in this part of the season, there's still a lot of games to be played. There is that quality difference, and I'm fancying actually to fade a couple of teams that are not doing that well. Just like it's different strategy. Like we found Aberdeen, it's a way of looking at things. Now I found Le Havre and I found Bochum, and you see in Germany as well, FC Heidenheim are unbelievable. They're not playing well at the moment. So I'm trying to look at the teams that are not performing as well in this moment of
Yeah, and
time.
as long as the other team that are playing they've shown something to be able to get results. And look, you're talking about a Lens team here. They've only lost once away from home all season. That was at PSG. And that was only a 1-0 loss. They're unbeaten other than that. So, like decent enough team against an underperforming team. And it is a very good point you make about teams that have something to play for, especially fighting relegation. Yeah, when we get a little bit further down the line of this season, I'll be having this conversation because there will be some real standout picks that make a lot of sense that I will not pick because I do have that rule. When it gets to those kind of last 10 games of the season, I'm not picking teams that have something to play for. You need to find those teams in the middle of the table, not really got much to play for, but we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
We are not there yet, so let's fade those poor teams. And Le Havre, definitely one of those poor teams. Wow, looking at their results, it's just absolutely incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, they've only scored 12 goals all season in their 16, which is the worst in the league, and they've conceded 34 out of 16. Yeah, it's just terrible on both sides of the pitch. So yeah, like that one. Nice. Okay, so that finishes us off for our value picks. That brings us now on to the fun section where we do our quickfire round. To those that have not listened to this podcast before, we pick a game of the day, usually game of the day on a Sunday, game of the day Saturday, game of the day Sunday. We each take it in turns to speak about it for 30 seconds, rounding it off with a scoreline prediction and an anytime goal scorer. Just a bit of fun. And this weekend was actually really difficult to find two standout matches. So the first one actually brought me on Friday, which is Borussia Dortmund versus Bayer Leverkusen. And then we've got an FA Cup match between Arsenal and Man United on Sunday. So there are two games that we're going to talk about. Quick fire round. Are you ready for this, Rob? I think I'm going to hand you the baton for the first match. Seen in the second match is Arsenal, which I'll probably go first in. So do you want to go first on the Dortmund-Leverkusen match?
Yes, I will go first on this match.
Okay.
Can you count me in?
Yeah, let me just get my timer. Okie dokie. 3, 2, 1, go.
Interesting match in Germany. I like it for a lot of reasons. There's mostly goals in this one. I expect a lot of goals as well. Niklas Süle is missing for Dortmund. Boniface is probably missing for Leverkusen. I think it's going to be another draw after 2 times again, the last 2 results. It's gonna be 2-all this time with Wirtz scoring, and you can find it at 26.0.
Okay. Bang on the 30 seconds there. So
Yeah.
you've gone 2-2 Verts. Okay, that's interesting. Do you want to count me in?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we've got it's just a big clash, really. And you said there's going to be lots of goals. However, I don't think quite as many. You've got Dortmund here that are unbeaten at home, and you've got Leverkusen who are unbeaten away. So I am going to sit on the fence as well and go for a draw. However, I'm going to go for 1-1. 3 of the last 4 Dortmund games have finished 1-1. Both of these fixtures last season, home and away, finished 1-1. 1-1 again, Verts as well. And odds of, I've gone too long, 34.0.
Wow. You overdone yourself this time.
I overdone myself. I forgot I'd written in 2 different parts my my notes and the odds, so I had to go between 2 different documents. But that's what set. I'm rusty. We had 1 week off, Rob, and I've overplayed my hand.
That's
but
right. That's right.
we've both gone for Mr. Florian to score.
Yeah, he tends to score quite a lot of goals as a playmaker.
You know what? You know what as well. This is a weird stat, but he scored the most away goals for Leverkusen. So he's an away from home kind of guy. So yeah. It's interesting actually there that the odds are lower, shorter on a 2-2 than a 1-1.
Yeah, that's strange. That is strange. But then again, yeah, maybe the market thinks that no, it's very strange. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's strange, but like you say, maybe if over 2.5 goals is more favoured, then kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Really.
That's true.
And in Germany, over 2.5 is always shorter than under.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
and I don't know enough of this match to really put my money on it. So it's
no, it was just yeah. For me, I just saw 1-1. I just saw 1-1 everywhere, so that's why I went it. But
yeah, that's true.
But anyway, I do like Verts. We like Verts to score, so that could be a play on its own.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go on to Sunday then. Like I say, FA Cup, Arsenal versus Man United. Do you want to count me in?
Yeah, I will count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
I think this match would have been easier to call prior to Man United's performance versus Liverpool. However, I just don't know how seriously Arsenal are going to take it. I would prefer to hand this game in for wins in the next 2 Premier League games. However, I still think we're going to take it seriously, especially after the Carabao Cup loss. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Arsenal and randomly Raheem Sterling to score, 26.0.
Okay, you think he's going to get a start? He's going to start on Sunday?
I don't know. I think he's got to play. He was on the bench the other night, and we've got to rest some players. The team look dead on their feet. There's been an illness through the team. I don't know. Let's see what you got to say, and we'll round it off.
Okay, can you count me in?
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. I didn't fancy Arsenal lately. They didn't impress me a lot. Sometimes they have these moments in the match that they really go fast and they score quite a lot of goals, but there are moments in the match that they don't impress me. Manchester United, they really have their thing cut out for them at the moment. I think they're gonna hang in there 1-1. And I think that the guy who's never gonna think of Harry Maguire is gonna go a goal. 101.0.
Wow, Harry Maguire, the guy that missed a sitter to win the match against Liverpool on Sunday.
I know, but he's like now, like there's like been so many memes about him. But like lately, he's performing quite well for Manchester United, and now I think he's in contract talks with for extending his contract at the moment for Manchester United. So I think he will get one. He will get one in this time.
Wow. Wow, nice shout, nice shout. And yeah, look, Harry Maguire, I know that he's sometimes the butt of the jokes, but I think he's one of the least of their problems, really, isn't he, in terms of some of the other stuff going on. But yeah, it's an interesting. I really don't know. I would definitely not be betting on this match. I can honestly see any result. There was a part of me that felt like backing United here to get a win. Because I think they will really take it seriously. I mean,
Yeah, they
Amorim,
will.
that has got to be one of their ways of glory. It worked for them last year, and yeah, I think Amorim will take this seriously. I just don't know. I think Arteta will also take it seriously, to the dismay of some Arsenal fans. I think if Arsenal put out a full strength team, knowing that we've got Tottenham and Villa coming up in the next 6 days afterwards, I don't think some fans will like it. But I
But
know Arteta
losing
will take it
two
seriously.
times in a row, your chance of silverware is not looking good as well.
Yeah, that's the other part as well. And I know momentum is a big part. And I know Arteta does look at that. So he won't want to go into those games of Tottenham and Villa with two losses. Like it's not good either. Like, so, yeah, I think it's not ideal. This is not an ideal match for Arsenal because Liverpool are playing, what is it? Accrington. Who are Liverpool? Yeah, Accrington
Accrington.
Stanley. Yeah,
Accrington.
Accrington Stanley, right? So they're going to put out a kids team. So they're getting a week off basically. And Tottenham, who is our next game in midweek, are playing Tamworth or something. So they're getting a weekend off as well. It's not ideal for Arsenal, this fixture. It's not.
No, it's not. But interesting
It's
match
not.
though.
It is. Anyway, right. Okay. Before we get on to the Accas, have you got something else for me?
No, I don't. I I
No?
have nothing. No.
You
No.
weren't. We weren't going to do a little
Oh yeah,
quiz.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
We got a little
Yeah.
challenge. We got. Oh, I didn't know when to put it in, but
Yeah. Let's
yeah,
let's let's
let's
squeeze
get
it
the
in now.
challenge. Let's get the challenge. Okay, you caught me off guard there. Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna do a. We're gonna do another top five, and I'm gonna name
Yeah.
you five players after 1990, and they're from South America, and you have to rank them.
I have to rank them my top five, and they're from the '90s onwards, South American players.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
we're
This,
starting
this is
off.
going to be. This is going to be right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. We're starting off with Arturo Vidal.
Oof. It really depends where you go from here, because there are some unreal players that have got to be better than Vidal. Depends if you throw in a bit of a stinker there somewhere as well. But I'm going to say that out of all of the South American players you can pick, he's the fifth best. So I'm going to put Vidal as number
Wow.
five.
Wow, 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 wow. I asked ChatGPT to name the top 25 and he's in 15th. So, okay.
Okay.
Okay, next one
Okay.
then. Next one. I will make one harder for you. Um, Rivaldo.
Rivaldo. Wow. I'm trying to think who you're going to put in this. I mean, Rivaldo. I loved Rivaldo. I'm going to go for two or three. Two or three. Three.
Okay, three. Okay, then I put Luis Suarez.
Yes, I knew you'd pick him. I knew you'd pick him. And I'm going to go two.
Okay, that's two. Okay, then we go to Ronaldinho
One. Number one, man.
and Neymar.
Oh, Neymar four. Who did I have as three? Rivaldo.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Neymar four. Yeah, yeah. Neymar. Well, Neymar's got finishing four. And you know what? I think had I known the five names prior to the challenge, I think I would have still put them in that order. Happy with that. Vidal five, Neymar four, Rivaldo three, Suarez two, Ronaldinho one. Boom, love it.
Okay, you've done quite a good job. It's a tough
Love it.
task.
I'll get one for you next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, let's move on to the Accas then, Rob. Big Gun Acca, the absolute wow. This is the pillar of our season. This is the strength, the rock, the absolute fundamental of us making money this season. What have you got for us this weekend?
Okay, I hope I keep delivering as I am doing this season. I'm starting off the Big Gun Acca with one of our favorites in chronological order again. Celtic, Ajax, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Napoli. And you can find this sixfold for 3.85.
Okay.
That's the Big Gun Acca.
That's the Big Gun Acca. I like it. Let's do it. Okay. Let's move on to something that is the complete opposite of what the Big Gun Acca has been for us this season. That's the Student Acca, and we're penniless. We're not making money from the Student Acca, but let's see if we can find a winner. And yeah, it's FA Cup weekend. I just thought, right, look, I'm just going to pick 5 teams here that are all playing on Saturday, because that's what the Student Acca is about. It wasn't about spreading them over the weekend. And it was like all the games at more or less the same time. And we've got in the FA Cup trying to dodge bullets here, but very difficult. We've got Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, and Sunderland. They're the 3 teams at home that I like will get the job done in the FA Cup. And then League 2, we've got Walsall and AFC Wimbledon. So the 5 teams come to just short of 10.0. And just a reminder, guys, if you're following here, we always play one whole unit on the Big Gun Acca and just a small 0.2, 0.25 on the Student Acca, depending on what your unit plays are, really. But Student Acca is meant to be, kind of £5 that you've found down the back of the sofa.
Okay, sounds good. We have to get it one time. Maybe this time is the lucky.
Yeah, it's going to hit. It's going to hit. Don't worry. It'll be a case of, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to call it, Rob. When we get the winner, we're going to do back-to-back wins. It's going to be 2 in a row.
Okay, and I was thinking about it as well. Like, if you put a single on every one of your Student Acca picks, then it would be a profitable section. It's just that mix and match yourself, find the ones that you like, and add them together, and then you'll make some money out of these picks.
Yeah, look, and anyway, we've still got still got half a season left. Anything can happen. Right. Okay, so Rob, let's finish it off with our bet of the week. Out of all of those bets that we've selected today, which is your favorite? You are currently 2 up still on me with bet of the week. And what are you going for this weekend?
It had to be between the odds of. Can you help me again?
Normally, you can't be lower than 1.7, and then you can go as high as you want, really, but can't be lower.
Okay, then actually, there's only one that qualifies for me, and that's Real Betis to win away from home against Real Valladolid at 1.86.
You can take your double if you want. Remember, you did that before. But if you prefer to keep it as the single bet of the week,
then I will change it then. Just for because I have the opportunity to change. I'm gonna change it for FC Mainz and PSV. Yeah, I know you didn't expect that. I'm gonna look up the odds right now. 1.57 times 1.43. That will get you 2.24.
2.24. Yeah, well, you alluded to it earlier when you were talking about Mainz maybe making that double. So you like that double. Obviously, a double you're going to be playing yourself.
Yeah, both playing at home. And I like PSV because they're just PSV at the moment. And if I would compare it to FC Twente and Feyenoord together, maybe I'm a little bit biased in the Dutch league, so I'm picking FC Mainz and PSV to win at home.
Okay, my bet of the week is NAC Breda.
NAC Breda, okay.
NAC Breda. Yeah, like it. I just think our Heerenveen, poor away team, and yeah, like it. I really like the odds of Las Palmas at 2.45. But if I had to pick out of my three value picks who I like the most to win the game, I will go NAC Breda.
Yeah, and the only thing to keep in mind, guys, is that like the Dutch league is coming back after a little short break. So always have to see how a team performs after this little break. And you have teams like in France and in Spain, they already had played a game or a cup game. So they're a little bit more reliable at the moment. But I definitely like the odds. That's why you get those odds as well, because of the
Yeah,
break.
I suppose it is starting a little bit fresh again, and you never know which teams have prepared the best during that break, who've got the team, fully fit, etc., etc. So yeah, there are a few, mitigating circumstances to things that we don't know about, but that's why also as well that in those situations maybe the home team is the stronger pick as well.
It is. It is. Okay.
Hey, right. Well, look, we'll just quickly recap. I mean, we've been speaking quite a lot about the picks there just now, but just recap that really quickly, Rob, before we finish. So we had a double in the Netherlands from yourself with FC Twente and Feyenoord to both win at 2.3. 2.3. We had NAC Breda, which we just mentioned as my bet of the week, 2.2. We've got Real Betis to win away at terrible Valladolid with a 1.86, and Las Palmas at home to Getafe 2.45. You like Mainz at 1.5, bit low for a single value pick, but as you've just doubled it up with PSV for your bet of the week, making that attractive 2.24. And we had Eintracht Frankfurt at even money away at St. Pauli, and also Lens away at Le Havre at 1.7. Rounds us off nicely for quite a lot of value there. Let's hope for a good week. We've got the Big Gun Acca there as well. Rob, it should be a fantastic weekend.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so am I immensely. All the leagues are back now. Let's get going. Second half of the season begins. Guys, have an amazing weekend, whether you follow us or not, in terms of our picks. If you have any good picks yourself, always let us know that. We're always interested in hearing other people's picks, some leagues that we don't look at, or maybe a team that we have looked at, but we didn't look at closely enough. And you can open our eyes to making more money. Please let us know, engage with us. And where can people do that, Rob? Where can people engage with us?
Yeah, people can find us across all the social platforms. You can find us mainly on X. There we are the biggest and we have the most room to enlighten our picks. And then where you can always find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and across all the other platforms, YouTube as well. Then we have a couple of subscribers on YouTube again as well gained, so that's really nice. So yeah, you can find us. Just put in the betting connection and you will find it. And we definitely have some Australian Open picks coming up as well in the tennis scene. So yeah, keep an eye on.
Yes, tennis season is back. So Rob will be back into that and letting us know his pearls of wisdom. I've taken a couple of weeks off of NFL picks because it was getting to a weird season at the end of the regular season. Playoffs begin this weekend. I will be looking to see if I can find value there. Guys, have an amazing weekend. Have an even better 2025. Let's take the bookies down together. Ciao for now.
Happy betting.